Hello and welcome to another Stamp with Amy K Facebook Live. I am here to show you how I made a card really quickly today with one of the Celebration stamp sets. I also used the Daisy Lane stamp set and the medium daisy punch on this card as well, and some of the Celebration Designer Series paper. So I am excited to show you this card because again, I love the paper. It's a good stamp set, you know, all the usual stuff. So tons of fun, lots of good things. Celebration is officially started today, so yay about that. If you have not placed your order yet, feel free to hop out into my online store and put in an order because you'll be getting some free items with it if it's $50 or greater. Hey, Rosie and Karen and Bree, thanks so much for joining today. I appreciate y'all being here. All right, so the card. Again, it features the Heal Your Heart, one of the sentiments from the Heal Your Heart stamp set. This is one of the free Celebration items that you can get from Stampin' Up! During Celebration, which runs from today through the end of February. And for every order of $50 or greater, you get to pick a free item. And this is one of the $50 items. So this is a great stamp set. It's a red rubber stamp set. And like I said, just a good one. So a lot of really good sentiments in it. Hey, Karen and Catherine and Jerry. I don't know if I missed anybody else hopping in here. Jackie's here and Pam. So I appreciate y'all being here. Thanks again for joining today. All right, so let me set this aside. The other thing that I used on this was the Daisy Lane stamp set and the medium daisy punch, which these are items that are in the annual catalog and have been around for a little bit, but I loved that it coordinated with the Designer Series paper. I love the daisies, kind of you can mix and match them together a little bit. The paper is also a Celebration item. This is the Flower and Field. I think it's the name of it. It's either Flower and Field. I'm pretty sure I should have put the brochure in front of me. I'm 99% sure that's the name of it. But again, it's one of the free designer paper packs from Stampin' Up. It's a 12 by 12 designer paper pack that you can get for free with an order of 50 or greater during Celebration. So hey, Danette, thanks for hopping in today as well. All right, so those are the stamp sets and the punches, or the punch. A couple other things that I used on this is I've got the Stitched So Sweetly dies, and I used one of the second one of the rectangle dies here for my sentiment on this card, and I also used the, of course, because I can't not use them, the stitched rectangle dies. Hey, Kevin, thanks for joining today. Stitched rectangle dies. And I actually used, if I can get it off the magnetic sheet, this one to cut the little strip here in the back, and I basically just cut it 2 times from Whisper White card. Well, I guess it's Basic White cardstock now. I'll tell you about that in a minute too. From Basic White, well, this is Whisper White because I didn't have Basic White, but from Basic White cardstock, just cut this twice and then glued them together on the card front so that, and then put the sentiment things right over the top so you can't even tell that there's a seam there. So, okay, so it is Flower and Field. That's what I thought, and all of a sudden I had this moment of, is it field and flower? So I'm glad I didn't totally mess it up. So that's why I kind of went both ways. So, all right. A couple things before I get to that. I told you I was going to talk about Basic White. And yay, Basic White is now for real and in the online store. So I'm excited to let you all know, if you hadn't seen it on my blog already, the Basic White cardstock and the paper products came in and are available for ordering now. So thank goodness, yeah, we weren't without white cardstock for too terrible long. So all the items are, again, the details are all posted on my blog. There's a link to this and links to the actual products in the online store. So if you want to go see them, you can definitely go do that. Blog is stampwithamyk.com if you do not follow along. So, but yep, these are all available now to order in the online store, and I'm very excited we have white back again. One other thing I already mentioned, Celebration is going on. One of the other bonuses during Celebration is they have an awesome joining promotion. So Stampin' Up, if you join as a demonstrator during Celebration, in addition to the $125 in your choice of merchandise from Stampin' Up, you pay $99, ships for free, $99 plus tax, free shipping. And you're going to get 5 full packs of 6x6 Designer Series paper. These are the color family packs from the upcoming annual catalog. So you can't order these anywhere at this point. The only way you can get them is by joining. So this is an awesome, it's 200 sheets of 6x6 Designer Series paper. These are the designs. So this has got kind of a plaid look to it. Backside has got a little kind of florally looking images to me. And then this one's got some little squares on it. And then the back side has got the little dots and lines, kind of beaded look to it. So these are the packs. Again, it's in Brights, Regals, Neutrals, Subtles, and then the 2020 to 2022 in colors. You will get all these for free in your starter kit if you join during Celebration. So if you have questions about joining, let me know. I'd be happy to chat with you more about it. If you'd like to join our team, we'd love to have you join and get the demonstrator discount for yourself because it's pretty awesome. All right. Hey, Carol, thanks for hopping in from Connecticut. Okay, so back to the card. I promise I'll stop talking at some point. Well, maybe not. So my Flower and Field Designer Series paper, I have cut to 3 7/8 by 5 1/8. Hey, Jeannie, thanks for hopping in, and Happy New Year to you as well. From Delaware. Yeah, it's kind of icky outside here today in New Jersey too. So this is the Field and Floral Designer Series. See, I said it wrong again. Flower and Field. I need to just stop saying it. The Designer Series paper from Celebration. So this one's got some pretty daisies on it. The back side of it has got some kind of leafy looking and black background image. And I think I said 3 7/8 by 5 1/8. If I didn't say that, that's what it is. And I'm adhering it to, it's going to take me a long time to get over saying Whisper White. Basic white cardstock. With a little bit of Stampin' seal. And the white cardstock is cut to 4 by 5 1/4. And then I'm going to take the little pieces that I had die cut ahead of time. Again, these are just white cardstock that I had cut with the stitched rectangle die, which is this one. It's the largest of the narrow dies, if that makes sense to you. So that die I used to cut this twice, and I'm just going to adhere it to the card front here. Both pieces, one kind of right on top of the other. And no specific measurement on it. I just kind of placed it so that it was towards the right side and just wanted it even and somewhat straight. Hopefully I got both. Hey, Debbie, thanks for joining from North Carolina as well. Not sure what to do with this paper. Oh, it's pretty. Like I said, it works perfectly with the daisy punch. So if you have that, pull out your Daisy Lane stamp set and play with that. They work really nicely together. They're really easy to use. So, all right, so we've got those adhered, again, one on top of the other, and we're going to put a little daisy and some ribbon and things over the top so you won't even notice that it's there. So I did 2 of the daisies ahead of time, and we're going to do one here on camera. So I've got, again, basic white cardstock and tuxedo black memento ink. And this is one of the images from the Daisy Lane stamp set. And I'm going to stamp it down here 2 times. One thing to know about this punch is that when you are using it, you want to have one of the petals pointing down, fairly straight down, just because it will go into the punch much easier that way. If you have it turned kind of at an angle, then you're going to have to angle your punch around. If you have it running straight down, then you can slide the punch straight up off the bottom and punch it, and it's really easy to do. Before I punch it out, I'm going to color. This is Light Pool Party, because I don't know if you noticed on the paper, hopefully you can see if I hold it still and up a little bit, there are little bits of Pool Party that are on the daisies. So I kind of tried to replicate that. I don't know how well I did it, but tried to replicate that in the daisy petals here. And I basically just took, I didn't color neatly, just took my light Pool Party Stampin' Blends marker and went over part of the petal, not even coloring the whole thing, just kind of scooching over the top of it. Is that a word? Scooching, yikes. Anyway, I realized I just smudged that with my finger, but I think it'll be hidden. I'll put that one on the bottom. And then I've got a dark Daffodil Delight that I'm going to use to color in the center of the daisy. And again, I only need to color in one of these since the other one is going to be hidden anyway. So nobody will see that it's not colored. We're going to glue the 2 together. Then we're going to punch them out. It is happy paper. I like it. It's fun. So even though it's got black background, so I think you can use it for, if you wanted a little more somber card for some sort of an occasion. I think you could use it for that, but it does have definitely some fun floral images in it. So punching out the stamped flowers with my medium daisy punch. And then I'm going to take a glue dot and stick the 2 together in the center. Oh, before I do that, one little trick that I usually do with these to make the daisies look a little fluffier. I don't know I don't know if it really makes them look fluffier. I feel like it makes them look a little less flat. I usually take the bone folder and kind of curl the petals just a little bit before I stick them together in the middle. I feel like it gives it just a little bit more depth without having to do a whole lot of, sticking dimensionals and things underneath them. So, all right, so let's put a glue dot on the back of the one that I colored the center on, and I'm going to lay them so that they're sort of offset, and then smush it together in the middle. And that's all there is to that. Next up, I'm going to go ahead, I'm going to go ahead and put the daisies on first so that I know placement to those before I do anything else. Hey, Denise, thanks for joining today. Of course, it's a word. I don't come up with quite as creative of words as Mary does, but I try. I try a little bit. All right, so we're going to stick the daisies on here. And I'm going to put the top and the bottom one on first, because again, I need those to be somewhat centered and close to the edges. And then this one I just put so that it, I needed a little space in here to put the ribbon and things down. So I put this one so that it kind of overlapped the one above it, but didn't completely cover it. So that's kind of how I did the spacing on that. And that left me a little bit of spot here where I can put down the ribbon. And I'm just going to take some Stampin' Seal and very messily kind of goop it over the top of everything. And then I have some of the Bumblebee gingham ribbon. So this is some very, very pretty ribbon. It's 1/4 inch wide, and it's fun to use. And the Bumblebee is the color officially in the center of the flowers, but I don't have a Bumblebee marker, so I just used what I thought was closest to it, which was the Dark Daffodil Delight, to color the centers on my flowers. Just going to make a little Z in ribbon here across the card front. And snip off the end here just a second, and then we'll move on to the sentiment. Hopefully I didn't just totally whack into the camera with my elbow, because I think I might have. And I apologize if it made everything shake. All right, so we've got the basics of the card front done. We do need to do a little stamping and die cutting here on the card front. And I have got one of the sentiments again from the Heal Your Heart stamp set, which again is one of the free stamp sets from Celebration. Hey, Kathy, thanks for hopping in today. I've got Versamark ink here, and I'm just going to ink up my sentiment well in Versamark. And we're going to do a little heat embossing, so you get to hear me make a little noise. All right, got that stamped, even though I'm sure you cannot see it. You'll be able to see it in a second once I sprinkle the white embossing powder on it. And just going to sprinkle that on quite generously, tap it off. Make sure that I've got everything covered, which it looks like I do. And then I have learned to put the lid back on my embossing powders because I have spilled them everywhere, and that is really not very much fun to clean up. So I'm going to do a little heat embossing. I've got the Stampin' Up! Heat tool here. It has 2 settings on it. Level 1 setting is for drying, so if you are watercoloring or doing something like that where you need your ink to dry a little faster, you can use the level 1 setting. And level 2 setting is for heat embossing, so I'm just letting it heat up for a second before I point it at the cardstock. And then we'll wait until it starts to turn. There it goes. And as you can see, it turns kind of a bright white. And then it's all done embossing. And you definitely want to give it a second to dry before you move on to the next step so you don't accidentally smear it, because it is sort of like a plasticky thing almost that if you touch it immediately, it will smear. All right, I have got one of the Stitch So Sweetly dies, and I'm just going to take this and cut the sentiment out. My die cutting machine is right over here to my right, so I'll be off screen for 1 second, but I'm still here. Hey, Yolandi, thanks for hopping in today from Southwest Florida. I bet you guys are nice and warm down there, and we're freezing up here in New Jersey. So it's been kind of a crazy day today. I have one of my daughters is back in school sort of part-time. She's there for like half days they're having her do. And my other daughter is virtual today and tomorrow, and she goes back later this week for real school again, which is going to be interesting. She hasn't actually been on campus. They were closed there since early November, so it's been kind of a while since she's been to school, for real school. So, all right, so we've got our sentiment all done here. And I'm going to put Stampin' Dimensionals underneath. Well, these are my little hacked in half Stampin' dimensionals on the back of my sentiment. And I want to make sure that when I'm placing my dimensionals on here that I'm getting them out fairly close to the edges, just because there's ribbon in between. And I want to make sure that the paper, this catches at least part of the paper. You want to make sure that that happens so that it sticks very well to the card front, because there's nothing worse than having a sentiment fall off in somebody's hands. All right, and as you can see, I'm also watching the placement down here to make sure that I have the seam covered up between the two pieces of cardstock that I kind of cobbled together with my 2 die cuts. And that's it for basically the card front. I just have to add a little rhinestone and stick it on the card base and we will be done. And I put the rhinestone on this side on this card, but since it looks like I got a little bit off to this side when I did my die cutting, I think I'm going to put the little rhinestone on this side this time to sort of balance it out a little bit. And then we're going to adhere it to the front of a pool party card base. I have these cut to 4 1/4 by 11 and scored at 5 1/2. But this card front also works with your standard kind of book fold card, which is your 5 1/2 by 8 1/2 and scored at 4 1/4. So if that's your preferred card base, you can definitely still make this card and use that card base instead. This is just the way I prefer to cut card bases. So again, that's just my personal preference. And I know some people think that it's very strange that I do it this way. So, all right. I'm like making up words today. I don't know. I got up far too early this morning. I'm not even going to say it was kind of an obscene hour of the morning that I woke up and then started looking and I realized that the ordering was up and yeah, then I just kind of, things went from bad to worse and I've been up since a really, really early hour of the morning. So I don't even know what's going to come out of my mouth and I'm sure that I will not want to go back and listen to this video again later. So all right, so that's it for the card front. On the inside of the card, I have, again, basic white cardstock cut to 4 inches by 5 1/4. And then this is just a little strip of the leftover cardstock from the card front. This one's cut to about 5/8 of an inch, I'm sorry. It's a little longer, I think, I don't know, probably 5 inches or so. But we're going to trim it down here. I'm going to put the adhesive on the Whisper White. See, there I go, basic white. It's going to take, I don't know, I'm an old dog. It takes me a long time to learn new tricks. So you're going to hear me say Whisper White a lot, I'm sure of that. So, but I usually, when I'm putting the little strips of designer paper on the bottom of the card, I usually make it, or try to make it a little bit oversized just so that it's easier for me to kind of judge where it should go. And then you have a little bit of a handle here to help me adhere it down straight. And then I usually just trim it off if it's a little long. So, all right, going to add a little Stampin' seal to the back and then put it inside the card base. And we will be all done with the card. If I can get it stuck down straight, that is. I almost stuck it all sorts of crazy. All right, so that is it for the inside of the card. So I'm going to fold this closed, do a quick crease of the bone folder. And that's my card for today. So super simple, but it uses a couple of the new Celebration products that I love. So I'm hoping that you'll take a look at those and get your orders put in so that, you can get some of the free stuff too. So it's been Whisper White for 20 years. Okay, so I'm not the only one who's going to have trouble then with the transition because I've been saying Whisper White it's been 8 years that I've been a demonstrator, and gosh, that's going to be one of those hard habits. I'm going to have to put like a big Post-it note on my desk and say basic white so it sticks in my head. So, all right. Well, thank you very much for joining me today and for putting up with the craziness. I appreciate you all being here. I will plan to be back live on my YouTube channel on Friday around 2 o'clock Eastern time I've got a welcoming window card that we're going to do. So if you're interested in checking out that stamp set, let me know. Come on over to YouTube on Friday around 2 o'clock Eastern time and I will see you then. And then I'll plan to be back here live on Facebook next week at 2 o'clock Eastern time. So thanks so much for joining. Have a good rest of your day and we will chat with you all soon.